So the next principle here is the repetition, and the repetition is kind of, let me say, it's more like consistency. Is another word that I can use to represent that repetition as consistency. Like all the elements that you need on your graphic, on your flyer, on all your designs, let it be in such a way that you will repeat some things on that particular flyer. For example, now I'll be using fonts, for example. Maybe when you want to design, and let me say this please, if you want to design a flyer, at most on your flyer, use nothing more than 3 types of fonts. In fact, if you can use just 2, it is good, but at most 3. Anything beyond 3, it is, I don't know what to call it. So use 2, even 1 type of font, or 2 or 3. That is it. Now, for example, now if I want to, maybe I want to design a flyer like this one on my screen now, the principles of graphic design and all the number 1 to 5 that I typed here, I used just what's it called, Poppins. Yes, Poppins fonts. So if you are making a design, maybe you want to use 2 types of font, make sure you stick to only that 2. For example, now if I say the way I type this now, I said that I use Poppins here. Let me say I want to type another thing, for example now, so graphic design itself. So this is just an example. So this is graphics. So maybe the font that I use for this graphics here is let me use this FX Neo Fire Black. So you see that it is different from the Poppins. So now this is where the repetition comes in. The way I have used this FX Neo Fara font for the graphic design up here, and I use Poppins here, I use Poppins here too. Maybe when I want to type another thing now, so let me say click on this link, to learn more. So as you can see now, I'm using this FX Neo Fara for this click on this link to learn more. So the way I've used this the FX Neo Fara for this graphic design up here, and for using it down here too, that is what we called repetition. The way I've used Poppins for these principles of graphic design and this alignment, structure, and the rest, that is another repetition. So when you use a particular font, maybe for your heading, you can actually use it for another thing that is not that heading, but is on the same flyer design. I hope you are getting my point. So that is the repetition aspect. The last one that I have here from the principles of graphic design is the contrast. And this contrast is actually created when 2 elements are of total opposites. Now these principles of graphic design on my screen, and the alignment, structure, hierarchy, repetition, and contrast, they are elements. So but now the way these principles of graphic design is small, and this alignment and the rest is big, so that is what we mean as contrast. That is what contrast is all about, like the big and small size, the cool warm colors, the like let me say word and opposite on the design. Words and opposite of element on a design is what we call contrast. So that is that about the principle of graphic design. So I hope you understand all this definition of graphic design as well as the principles. So if there is any question, or if there is anyone that you don't understand well, you can let me know in the comment section so that I can repeat or re-explain.